On the 1st of May 2020, at precisely 9:25 p.m, during the first official Corona lockdown, what appeared to be a single delivery driver pressed the doorbell of a £500,000 family home on Kerry Drive, Upminster in East London, in the UK. The fake delivery driver was even wearing a full United Parcel Service uniform, or UPS for short, if I'm not mistaken. After ringing the doorbell, a few seconds later, you hear multiple locks opening. Even right up to this moment, everything looks kosher, but looks can be deceiving. The homeowner, a successful businessman and entrepreneur in and around the city of London, so seeing a delivery driver at his front door wasn't anything out of the norm. When the front door opens, the fake delivery driver says that he's got a parcel for the homeowner, and if he can stand back while he puts it on the doorstep due to the COVID restrictions at the time. He places it on the doorstep and then fumbles with his phone, pretending to take a photograph of the parcel, which is something that real delivery personnel do as a security measure. Now, this is the moment when everything changes. This is the moment when the fake delivery driver really shows what he is. And this is the moment when three men that are hiding just out of sight invade an innocent family home. And this, unfortunately, is the moment when the family's whole world come crashing down all around them. The following scenes might upset some people, so if that is the case, then please proceed with caution. But I'd like you to remember what the family went through, so I urge you to pay attention. Watch.
I've got a parcel for you, mate. Dude, I'll put it on your door and take it because coronavirus.
Yeah. Hey! No!
Come on, sit, come on. Larry! Larry, pull Larry, pull Larry! Larry, go, go! Larry! Larry! He's got Larry! Oh! 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 Who is it? Oh! Who is it? Oh! It's oh! Fucking God! Jack's been shot! Huh? Jack's been shot! Oh! Jack's been shot! Oh my God! Oh! Right, where's who's dialed 999? Alright. Been shot. Jack's been shot. I need my friend's been shot. 7 Kerry Drive up me. Oh, please! Listen, yeah, he's breathing, but he's blood all over him. Is it on the way? Yeah, he's screaming. Yeah, he's been shot in the face. Postcode. Please. Please. There's blood everywhere. Is Jack been shot? Is Jack been shot? Is Jack been shot? His son's been shot as well. You've got to be quick. He was there over here. Look. It's only Jack and Ray, Laura. Is it only Jack and Ray? Is it only Jack and Ray? Yeah. Yes, Jack. It's raining. Yeah. How long's it going to be? Oh, you cunt! They're both. It's Jack awake, Laura. I've got 999. Is Jack awake? Is he got in there? Has he got something in him? Oh, shit. Quick. Yeah, they're both awake. They're both crying and blood everywhere. Please. Oh, quick. Quick. Oh, Jack, please. What's that? Where's Jack? He's here. Where? Where's the attacker, right? Where's the attacker? Where's the attacker? He's gone to free of jumped in there. Jake's up there. I'm on the phone now. A shot. Who's been shot? Oh, the boy. It's up there. No, the sun's not. We've got a first aider here. Oh, well, the sun's. I don't know, he's on his back. Come on, ambulance, where are they? Where's the children? Where's Charlotte? Where's Charlotte? Come with me. Yeah, this is shot. Take her in there. Please, God. Where's Jack been shot? I don't know if he's been stabbed. I don't know. Stabbed and shot. I don't know what's going on. Just please get quick. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Yeah. Right.
At approximately 9:40 p.m. on the same night, the police were called to the family home on Kerry Drive in East London because of the violent home invasion that you just witnessed. The gang forced their way into the property at 9:25 p.m. and they were inside the property for 3 minutes and 43 seconds before finally leaving the residence and the family at 9:28 p.m, leaving the family inside the property, screaming, scared, injured and afraid after being subjected to a brutal attack. The Hawkins family, who had lived in the house in Kerry Drive for 15 years, consisted of mum and dad, Raymond and Laura, their 11-year-old son, and their 9-year-old daughter, who can't be identified due to their age. But the brave 11-year-old boy would end up being shot in the shoulder while trying to defend his parents during the vicious home invasion. The 11-year-old has been left with serious life-changing injuries following the horrific ordeal. The mum, Laura Hawkins, had injuries to her throat by a razor-sharp knife, but survived, and her husband Raymond was stabbed in the head and beaten. Laura required stitches in her neck, while Raymond escaped serious long-term injuries. Luckily, their 9-year-old daughter wasn't harmed. This is what happened inside the house on the 1st of May 2020, which wasn't captured on camera. At 9:25 p.m, Christopher Sargent pressed the doorbell, posing as a delivery driver. In the shocking footage taken from the family's doorbell camera, he can be seen outside the Hawkins front door, holding a parcel while dressed in a uniform. Also, he wore glasses to try to hide his identity. The dad, Raymond, opened the front door, believing it was a legit parcel being delivered. In fact, 5 years on after the case, new evidence has come to light that Raymond was indeed waiting on an actual delivery from his company on that day. Detectives at New Scotland Yard now say that the gang did indeed have access to information about Raymond's delivery schedule. In other words, somehow the gang knew he was expecting deliveries that day. So with his guard down, the 45-year-old father, Raymond, opened the front door, believing it was real. As Raymond went to take the parcel, he was told to stand back because of COVID. This was during the first COVID lockdown, so yet again it was very believable. As Raymond bends down to retrieve his parcel, Sargent runs forward and violently attacks Raymond, then running into the house with a knife, while 3 other hooded men followed in with weapons drawn. Alistair Richardson for the prosecution told the court that only weeks after the first national lockdown started, the Hawkins family was subjected to a crime of our nightmares. Now, all inside the £500,000 family home, Sargent and another man pinned down Raymond and beat him before stabbing him directly in the head. And this is when Raymond lost consciousness. Then, Anthony Lascelles held a razor-sharp blade up to Laura's throat and forced her up the stairs. Once inside the bedroom, Lascelles starts screaming, "We want the money in the safe and the Rolexes." The blade was then pressed harder against Laura's neck to try to intimidate her more, which is when her neck got sliced. Hearing all the commotion, their 11-year-old son, who was in the bedroom at the time gaming, emerged to see what was all the screaming about, while their 9-year-old daughter remained frightened in bed. The son was grabbed and a blade was put to his neck too, to threaten Laura, to ensure that the family followed their demands. "But we don't have a safe," Laura said over and over again, and when she saw her son with a knife on his neck, she started screaming, and you can hear this in the doorbell camera footage from outside. After a while, Laura showed the men her jewelry and some other valuables and Rolexes, and this is when 3 of the men left the house, thinking that the police would be there any moment. But little did they know that at this point, no one had phoned 999, not yet anyway, And remember, all this time, which was precisely 3 minutes and 43 seconds, Raymond was on the floor, unconscious downstairs. But for Laura, those 3 minutes and 43 seconds must have felt like a lifetime. As 3 of the 4 men ran out of the house with stolen goods, this is when Raymond came to, and he saw the men leave. Thinking it was all over, Raymond locked and bolted the front door. This is the moment outside when Sergeant kicks the door as he's leaving and shouts out he's got Larry, which is another of Lascelles' aliases. At this point, Raymond is dizzy and is bleeding out, but nevertheless, he thinks all the men have gone, but one of them is still inside the house. Meanwhile, upstairs, Lascelles pushes Laura onto the bed, trying to scare the money out of her. At this moment, Laura said that she thought she was going to get assaulted, and she feared for her life. Their 9-year-old daughter, who had been alone this whole time, had gotten up and scrambled underneath her bed, which is where she remained. When Laura screamed, her husband Raymond, who was a fully licensed member at a local shooting range, heard his wife's screams for help, and he unlocked his shotgun and loaded it, now fully aware that someone was still upstairs with Laura. Laura was on the bed watching Lascelles as he rummaged and turned over the whole bedroom, looking for the safe, which of course didn't exist. Lascelles was the only one left in the house. The other 3 members of the gang had left, but Lascelles remained, laser focused on looking for the money. Raymond was now on his way up the stairs to help his wife Laura, fully locked and loaded, and really pissed off. He made his way up the stairs, spilling claret as he ascended. This is when he ran into Lascelles, and the 2 of them scuffled over the shooter. Laura was on the bed, bleeding out, but safe. Their 9-year-old daughter was under her bed, probably crying, but safe. And their 11-year-old son was now watching his dad, who was in bad shape, fighting with Lascelles, who was trying to gain command of the shotgun. Seeing his dad in need of help, this 11-year-old lad, who only minutes ago was fighting baddies in a video game, now made his way over to fight a real-life bad guy, who was gonna hurt his dad. The 11-year-old boy, who I wish I could name, went to his dad's defense and grabbed the gun, but Lascelles pulled the trigger, and in the struggle to save his dad, the 11-year-old boy was shot in the shoulder. Seeing all the carnage that he had caused, Lascelles finally decided to flee, and he made his escape out the back of the house, straight to the home of Ajay Singh, who did not take part in the robbery, but he organized the whole thing. Now alone with his family, Raymond and Laura embrace and check on their kids. This is when you see Raymond for the first time appear outside of the house on the doorbell camera footage. He's wearing a tracksuit with a white t-shirt covered in claret, and due to the powers that be, some things had to be blurred out due to restrictions. Armed police and paramedics arrived on the scene at the Hawkins home, and they found the boy with a large gaping gunshot wound to his shoulder. Their son's injuries were not life-threatening, but it was life-changing. He remained in the hospital for weeks. Raymond and the rest of the family all received medical attention too. The criminals had made off with £36,000 worth in jewelry and other personal items. After an extensive manhunt, 3 men were arrested. Christopher Sargent was sentenced to 20 years in jail for his part in the robbery. In the dock, as the judge read out the children's emotional and physical anguish as a direct result of the gang's actions, Christopher Sargent broke down and started to cry. Lascelles was arrested and charged with grievous bodily harm, with intent and robbery, and after a retrial, the first charge was dropped, but he took a plea deal and went guilty to the charge of robbery. So in the year of our Lord, 2020, at Snaresbrook Crown Court, Anthony Lascelles was sentenced to 23 years for his part in the vicious robbery. And lastly, even though Ajay Singh wasn't involved in the robbery, on the 1st of May 2020, for his part in the robbery, he received 25 years in jail. On the 21st of July 2021, on a summer's evening at 8:19 p.m, a strange man with a scraggly beard appeared on the woman's front doorstep, trying to get her attention. He was seen holding a shopping bag, and he kept knocking on the door and turning the door handle trying to get in, all the while murmuring and talking to the woman through the door. The woman was home alone, and her husband was at work. The things that were said by the strange man to the woman would later go on to shock the hundreds of thousands of people who watched the footage. The man was seen heading down a sidewalk carrying a bag on South 6th Street, Las Vegas, Nevada, when he by chance turned his head towards a house and he saw a woman in the window, which led him to approach the front door. As he walked up the garden path, the doorbell camera captured him harassing the woman through the door, making violent statements that would go on to be reported on TV and the news. From the moment you see and hear the man, you can tell that something's not right with him. As he stands on the doorstep, looking somewhat nervous, all the while the man had evil intentions based on what he said and what was in his bag. And then he looks in through the front door window and he sees the woman looking back at him a few meters away. And that's when he starts to ask a series of troubling questions. Watch.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? What? Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain? Sure.
So, who are you?
What? Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about a TV show. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rape her and kill her right now. Can you have her open the door? I'm going to rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in. I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on her door again. All right. Are you sure? No idea. What?
So when the video starts, it looks like he's talking to himself, when in actual fact, the woman is on the other side of the door, mere inches separating her from the man. He keeps repeating to himself, telling the woman that he has a couple of questions for her. And, are you sure? Even though he's talking to the woman, and he can see her, and she can see him, he continues to knock on the door and press the bell, repeating himself over and over again. It's clear by now to anyone watching the footage that the man is somewhat troubled with many underlying mental health problems. Thank God the door was locked, because he reaches down and tries to open it. Eventually, the man turns around and starts to walk away, but just as he does so, the woman's husband activates the camera's two-way speaker, and he addresses the man by asking who he is and what does he want. This interaction prompts the stranger to stop in his tracks, and he returns back to the doorstep once again. Now, even though the video is 4 years old, because of what the man says in the next few seconds, the footage stayed with me a long time after I first saw it, and that was mirrored by the hundreds and thousands of people who watched it on the news. Because as the man walks back over to the door, he looks straight into the camera and he casually says something so cold, heinous and vile that, if it wasn't already obvious by then, that the man had a serious mental health condition that needed immediate attention. He told the husband, who was at the time away at work, that he wanted the woman in the house to open the door so he could sexually assault her and leave her unalive. He even asked the husband if he could tell her to open the door himself, admitting that he had weapons inside the bag that he was holding. Luckily, the woman had the sense not to antagonize the man by screaming and shouting at him, and quietly phoned the police. The footage ends with the man walking away from the property down the garden path, casually talking to himself. It's so scary to think that at any given moment, the man could have bumped into someone else and taken an innocent life. The couple uploaded the video online straight away to their Facebook account and to the local groups in the hopes that someone would see the video and be able to identify the man. The video went viral immediately on all social media platforms, getting 60,000 views in the first 24 hours on YouTube alone. Shortly thereafter, an alert citizen, Karen Stewart, spotted the IC1 male, now known as Christopher Sums, who was 40 years old at the time of the incident, in July 2021, and phoned 911 and alerted the sheriff's deputies to his location in Las Vegas.
Citizens being recognized for protecting our community. She saw a disturbing video online, which we shared with you here on the news, and because she paid close attention, she helped Metro crack the case.
Fox 6's Kim Passoth was there as the woman got a special award at Metro headquarters today.
So Karen Stewart saw that clip and it stuck with her. She recognized that man and called for police, telling them she had eyes on the suspect outside of her job downtown at the Marriage Bureau. She saw him the same day she saw that video, so it was still fresh in her mind. Police quickly arrived and arrested him, and Stewart says that she is born and raised here, so keeping her community safe is important to her. But she's no hero. She is glad police responded so quickly in hopes that other people will not hesitate to call them.
Well, I always tell my coworkers, be aware of your surroundings, especially downtown where we work. And they always laugh at me because they, but I tell them that every day. And then it was the joke like, oh, see, you did see something.
When Christopher Sums was arrested, he identified himself as the Holy Spirit. But after a search of his home and with the aid of facial recognition, he was properly identified and booked into the Clark County Detention Center. Sums was booked with several charges, including aggravated stalking, attempted burglary, coercion with a threat of force, and making a false statement to officers. There was also a previous fugitive warrant for Sums out of California.
Washington, who lives down the street from where this happened, said the same man went to her door just a few months ago.
He got loud and belligerent and he started screaming, and because my peephole is pretty large, that you could see spit coming out of his mouth, and so I slammed it and I'm screaming through the door, get away from my house. As a woman, as a person, for someone to scream things like that at you is I can imagine it'll keep her on her guard even with this person being in custody.
Christopher Sums wasn't new to crime. In fact, just a few months ago, he tried to harass and enter the property of another woman. So Sums was ordered by a judge to undergo an evaluation to determine if he was competent to stand trial. So the judge ordered the case to be sent to the district court to start the evaluation process. So a few weeks go by, and then later at the evaluation hearing at the Clark County District Court, a second judge ruled that Christopher Sums was indeed incompetent to stand trial. So then he was transferred for treatment to the state psychiatric hospital, which would go on to become his new home for the foreseeable future. On the 12th of November 2019, at precisely 11:20 p.m., the quiet, peaceful neighborhood of Leimert Park in Los Angeles, California, was shattered by horrifying screaming coming from a woman fighting for her life as she was dragged away into a speeding car. The sounds of the screaming were like something straight out of a horror movie, and the terrifying scenes were captured by a doorbell camera. Confused and shocked residents of Leimert Park appeared out of their houses, but of course by then it was already too late. The following doorbell footage is quite short, spanning only 30 seconds, but the devil is in the detail. Yes, the footage is a few years old, but once again, this video stayed with me long after I first saw it back in 2019, and the harrowing screams echoing throughout the cold November night just might disturb some people, but it's important and needs to be talked about. Watch.
Blood-curdling screams ring out. A concerned resident goes outside to investigate. Captured on her doorbell camera are the sounds of a woman crying out for help. You can also hear a man's voice. It appears the cries are coming from this white car zooming down the street. This is the home where the camera captured the screams and the car speeding away. A neighbor told me she saw the struggle happening just 2 doors down, and it left her terrified. And
The car was right here.
Car was right here, parked right here?
Parked right here. The butt of the car was right here. The front of the car was in the street. She looked like she was trying to get out when she seen us, and he snatched her head back and he sped it out.
Possible kidnapping in progress. You heard screaming in the back.
Police tell us they're canvassing the Leimert Park neighborhood in LA, looking for any clue that will lead them to the woman desperately calling out for help.
The video, which was initially captured on the resident's doorbell camera, was handed to the police for their investigation. Then, 2 days later, the video was shared in a press release in the hopes that someone could help him come forward with information. In the short and scary video, a resident is seen dashing out of her house as the victim can be heard screaming, "Help me, somebody help me," in the background. And at the same time, a man, believed to be the suspect, can be heard profusely apologizing to the woman. As the resident continues to watch and listen in horror, from outside her home, a white car is then seen racing down the street with the boot open. Witnesses on the scene told the police that the victim, a female with dark braided hair, was sitting in the front seat with the suspect next to her in the driver's seat. The Los Angeles Police Department said for the press release, they were also told by multiple witnesses that the woman, who was screaming for her life, had her hair pulled backwards by the man. The speeding car appeared to be a four-door white Toyota Matrix with only 2 people inside. Initially, witnesses thought that the car was a Toyota Prius. A longer version of the chilling video was later released by the New York Post, and it shows the female and the male resident trying to piece together what happened. As the screams start to get further away, the male resident comes outside and says, "What the fuck? He took her in the car?" As the female resident remains speechless, still looking into the street, as the screams become fainter, the man gets into his car in the hopes of tracking down the white vehicle. Neighbors can be heard telling the male resident he just made a right, which was 39th Street. Here's the longer version of the video.
You have the house keys? You have house keys?
Yes.
Okay. You have a phone? We're gonna follow. Yeah, well, okay. You're making it right. You're making it right. All right. That's good.
A witness told the police the car's front window appeared to be shattered and it was covered with plastic. Unfortunately, even though the Los Angeles Police Department received hundreds of tips since the release of the doorbell footage back in 2019, none of them have led to the identification of the woman or the suspect in the investigation, and the number plate wasn't clear enough to read. So unfortunately, the case still to this day remains unsolved. If you've seen something scary, creepy, or amazing, and you captured something paranormal on camera, or you might be unlucky enough to live in a haunted house and you need some help and advice and you think you're all alone, well, you're not. Project Dark Knight Horror is here for you. So send in your videos, links, emails and recommendations to Project Dark Knight. The email is on screen. Thank you. When you're fast asleep in the middle of the night, safe and warm in your beds. This is the peace of mind that we all take for granted. And if you're a deep sleeper, your body is basically just a meat sack slumped on a mattress while your subconscious travels the dream state. And unless you have a guard dog that's on point, or if you're a light sleeper, then who knows what really happens when you're asleep. And that's why more and more people are protecting their homes with CCTV and doorbell cameras. So imagine you wake up one morning and your camera has recorded this. One night in July 2023, at precisely 3:58 AM, a man who is described to be an IC1 male, 6 foot 2 inches in height, he had black or dark brown hair, and was between 25 to 30 years of age, was recorded silently prowling around all over the property, while the homeowner, Carla Wilson, was fast asleep. Watch.
Women are a target always. You know, how easy. Like, it did not bother him to see me there or to try to get out of the house.
Scary stuff, and this entire crime was caught on camera. It's one of a string of break-ins that Indianapolis Metro Police are investigating right now.
The thief targeted dozens of cars and homes this week in Franklin Township. Fox 59's Jenny Drasler spoke to one of those homeowners.
For this normally quiet neighborhood on Indy's southeast side in Franklin Township, news of a burglar on the loose had everyone on edge.
Extremely violated.
Carla Wilson is the neighborhood's HOA president.
This is him in the house.
The thief broke into her house overnight Monday around 4 a.m. while she was asleep.
Right there. See him going over there? So then it hit me, okay, I've been robbed.
And it was all caught on Carla's home camera system. The man, covered head to toe, only exposing his eyes, first broke into her family car parked outside. He took the garage door opener and opened her garage. He broke into her car parked inside and ransacked it, making off with money, an iPod, and sunglasses. That's when Carla says the thief used WD-40 to get into the door to her house.
So he literally knew that, maybe thought the door would squeak, like he was totally prepared.
And Carla says one of the most unsettling parts about all this is what the man did next. He stood in this doorway just feet away from her bed and stared at her while she slept.
Had I woken up, I would have screamed, or I would have reached for my gun, to be quite honestly. And with him standing 4 feet from my bed, I would not have came out on the winning side.
That's when Carla says the man made his way into her living room.
Creepier part's when he's right there at my bedroom, right there.
Scoping out her house, stealing multiple pieces of jewelry, including her favorite diamond ring. The man then nonchalantly walks right out Carla's front door, spending a total of 7 minutes inside her home. IMPD was in the neighborhood Thursday evening investigating. Officers say the burglar got into dozens of cars in the area. Carla hopes they catch him. And while he stole her possessions, she says he won't steal her peace.
He has dark hair and glasses.
Or her drive to prevent someone else from falling victim.
So what happens if the next woman gets startled and wakes up? It could save her life doing this interview and trying to expose who he is so we could try to catch him.
In Indianapolis, Jenny Drasler, Fox 59 News.
The man, who was covered from head to toe, only exposing part of his face, first broke into the family car that was parked outside, and he took the garage door opener. Then he can be seen inside the garage looking around for valuables. He found some cash, an iPod, and a pair of sunglasses. Then the man walks over to the shelf and he picks up a can of WD-40 and he uses it to get into the door of the house. So even after seeing Carla a few feet away in bed, that still wasn't enough to deter the man. He then walked into the living room, looking around, stealing multiple pieces of jewelry, including her favorite diamond ring. After taking what he wanted, the thief casually walked out of the front door, spending a total of 13 minutes inside a home and garage. The following day, the police were in the neighborhood, combing the area and speaking to the neighbors. Officers say that the burglar got into dozens of cars and homes in the area. Carla posted the videos of the thief. Along with this post, $1,000 of her own personal money for any information leading to the arrest of the man. Carla's break-in took place in July 2023, and still to this day, the man remains at large. In the following home CCTV footage, a hooded figure can be seen standing over a couple and watching them sleep after breaking into their home. The intruder, who was dubbed the Creeper Ghost, stood on top of the stairs in the shadows, looking down at the couple, Jack and Jordan, as they slept. After watching the footage, even the police were shocked, stating that they had never seen anything like that before. The creeper hovered over them for almost 30 minutes. He did end up stealing Jordan's purse from the bedroom on his way out, but watching him standing there for that amount of time, the police wondered what his actual real motives were. Also, he moved so slow that the police asked Jack if he could send another copy of the video that wasn't in slow motion. Jack replied by telling them it wasn't slowed down. He was so quiet that he didn't even disturb the two dogs. As soon as the movie ended, everything got quiet and Jack and Jordan woke up to go to bed, and that's when the creeper turned around and slowly left out of the same way that he entered. Jack told the police as they were walking up the stairs to enter the bedroom, the creeper was exiting, according to the footage and the time. The couple got into bed and fell asleep, oblivious to what had just happened. The danger was real, because at any moment the creeper could have come back. But luckily, nothing else happened. But in the morning, as the couple were leaving, Jordan couldn't find her purse, so the couple tried retracing their steps by scrolling through hours of video footage. They rewound the footage all the way back to 3:30 a.m. on Monday morning, and what they saw sent shivers down their spine.
frightening video of a creepy criminal. A home surveillance camera captures an intruder inside of a couple's home in Bucktown neighborhood, watching them while they were there asleep. Eyewitness News reporter Karen Jordan talked with that couple.
Jack McKercher and his girlfriend, Jordan Baranskis, did not know a man was lurking in their Bucktown home in the middle of the night until they couldn't figure out what happened to her purse.
We actually got in a little bit of an argument about it. You know, he thought for sure I must have just maybe left it at the restaurant the night before.
So Monday evening, the couple tried retracing their steps by scrolling through video recorded by one of McKercher's surveillance cameras, rewinding all the way to 3:30 Monday morning. What they saw terrified them.
I'm like, why are you at the top of the stairs wearing a white hoodie before we went to bed? She's like, I wasn't at the top of the stairs. So that's when you kind of go a little bit flush and you freak out a little bit.
An intruder crept in through an unlocked door and for several minutes hovered over the couple who had fallen asleep on the couch. The suspect moved so slowly and quietly, he didn't disturb the couple's 2 dogs sleeping at their feet.
He was stood there for about 5 minutes the first time, then walked away. We don't know what he went to go do, and then came back and just kind of hovered over us again for another 5 minutes.
The thief has been nicknamed the Creeper Ghost, believed to be responsible for other burglaries in the neighborhood. Some residents have posted images on social media catching the suspect riding through alleys on a bike and trying to break into homes. McKercher is hopeful that between stepped-up police patrols and a large presence of cameras in the neighborhood, he'll be caught soon.
I mean, the guy obviously has some kind of issues, right? I mean, first, breaking into homes is never something you need to be doing, but on top of that, just kind of watching people and everything else is just strange. If you look at the video, he's actually watching like part of the show. He leaves when the credits start rolling.
The creepiest part about all of this, we didn't see someone breaking the home, taking something and leaving. We saw someone just lurking over us for over 10 minutes while we slept, just watching us.
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet from your